The Young and the Restless spoilers Chelsea's dilemma, torn between Adam and Billy. Chelsea had always been a woman caught between two worlds, her love for Adam and the tumultuous history they shared, and the spark of something new, something real with Billy. For months, she had been drifting away from Adam and toward Billy, seeking solace and a fresh start with someone who understood her in a different way. Billy was a kindred spirit, someone who had faced his own demons and emerged stronger. Chelsea believed that with Billy she could start anew, leave behind the chaos of her life with Adam, and finally be happy. But love, especially in Genoa City, was never that simple. Chelsea had made the decision. She would tell Adam and Connor that she needed to move on with Billy, that she needed to pursue her own happiness, even if it meant breaking their hearts. It was a decision that weighed heavily on her, but she felt it was the right one. So she arranged a meeting with Billy at their favorite restaurant, a place where they could finally lay all their feelings bare and talk about their future. Billy, though hesitant, agreed to the meeting out of respect for Chelsea. He didn't want to hear any more explanations, but he knew Chelsea needed this closure. He owed her that much, if nothing else. But little did Billy know, the night would turn into a disaster he hadn't anticipated. Adam and Connor's desperate plan. On the other side of town, Adam was watching Chelsea drift away from him with growing fear and frustration. He had seen the connection between her and Billy deepening, and it terrified him. Chelsea had always been a pivotal part of his life, the mother of his son, and a woman he had loved more than anyone. Adam wasn't ready to let her go, and neither was Connor. Connor, sensing the tension between his parents, had become increasingly desperate to keep his family together. The thought of his mother leaving him and running off with Billy scared him. He didn't want to lose the sense of home, of stability, that came with having both his parents in his life. Connor's fear fueled Adam's determination to come up with a plan, one that would stop Chelsea from meeting Billy that night and bring her back to her family, where Adam believed she truly belonged. The plan was simple but effective. Connor would fake a sudden illness, something severe enough to pull Chelsea away from Billy and back to her family. Adam coached Connor through the details, knowing that a mother's instinct would kick in, and Chelsea would drop everything for her son. Connor played his part perfectly. As Chelsea was preparing to leave for her dinner with Billy, Connor began complaining of stomach pains, clutching his abdomen and groaning. The act was convincing. Within minutes, Connor was pale, sweating, and pretending to vomit. Chelsea's concern immediately spiked. She rushed to his side, feeling his forehead for a fever. But the worst part came next. Connor pretended to collapse, making it look like he had passed out. Chelsea panicked. She called for Adam, who was ready to jump into action. They bundled Connor into the car and rushed to the hospital. In the chaos, Chelsea completely forgot about her dinner with Billy. Her phone rang several times, but she didn't notice. Her focus was entirely on her son, Billy's waiting game. Meanwhile, Billy was sitting alone at the restaurant, watching the minutes tick by. He had been there for over an hour, and Chelsea still hadn't shown up. At first, Billy thought she might have been caught in traffic or delayed for some other reason. But as the second hour rolled around and his calls to Chelsea went unanswered, his patience wore thin. Billy began to feel the sting of rejection. He had made a conscious decision to hear Chelsea out, despite his reservations. But now, it seemed like she wasn't even willing to give him the same courtesy. The longer he sat there, the more Billy's anger grew. He felt like a fool, waiting for someone who wasn't coming. Chelsea had made him believe they could have something together, but now it felt like she had abandoned him without a second thought. When Billy finally left the restaurant, his frustration had reached its peak. He was done. No more second chances, no more explanations. Chelsea hadn't kept her word, and that was all the proof he needed. As far as Billy was concerned, their relationship was over before it even had a chance to begin. Adam and Connor's victory back at the hospital. After hours of tests, the doctors found nothing wrong with Connor. They assured Chelsea and Adam that Connor was perfectly healthy, and his symptoms were likely due to stress or anxiety. Chelsea breathed a sigh of relief, but something gnawed at her. Why had Connor suddenly become so ill? And why did he seem to recover so quickly? Adam played the concerned father perfectly. comforting Connor and telling him how brave he had been. In truth, Adam was thrilled. Their plan had worked. Billy had been stood up, and Chelsea was right where Adam wanted her, by his and Connor's side. As they left the hospital, Adam and Connor exchanged a subtle, knowing glance. They had succeeded in stopping Chelsea from pursuing her relationship with Billy, and now all they had to do was keep her from realizing the truth. Connor, though young, understood what they had done. He knew that pretending to be sick wasn't the right thing to do, but in his mind, it was worth it if it meant keeping his family together. He hoped that now, with Billy out of the picture, his mom would finally come back to him and his dad, where she belonged. In his heart, Connor believed that Chelsea just needed a little nudge to see that Billy wasn't right for her, that her home was with him and Adam.